Okay, there we go. Okay, and people can just trickle in as they trickle in. But oh yeah, there's a good breeze. It is the water, the waves are right there. It's a lot of good energy right now. So let's start. Hi, Carrie, with some deep abdominal breathing, and then we'll go into chi belt breathing. So let's start with one hand in the lower abdomen and the other hand on top. I'm gonna find a good spot for my feet here because there's a couple of different rugs. Here we go. And I'm sorry if you can't see my face, but it's a little bit shadowy in here, but you can see what I'm doing. And let's start first grounding down through the soles of the feet. Let the shoulders melt down away from your ears. Take a nice deep breath in and let's just sigh first. Let everything go. And let's do two more sighs. So nice deep breath and then just let everything go. And then one more time. And then and now let's contain the breath. So inhaling nice and slow and deeply, letting the lungs expand, and then exhale through the nose. Really allowing a full exhalation. So you're dumping all the contents out so that you have this open vessel to inhale and fill up. Starting on our breath and focusing our awareness on the breath. So the adage is where the mind goes, energy follows. So if we place our mind intentionally on something like the breath, our energy is going to be directed exactly where our mind is going to. So filling up this whole vessel. And then letting everything go. Feel your nervous system start recalibrating just from these small cues. And then let's take our hands to the chi belt. So the chi belt, right, the smallest part of our waist or right at the level of the belly button. And then we're going to cinch in. I was just reading something that this sort of Wonder Woman posture where our hands are on our waist and our shoulders are back does something, haven't looked this up yet, does something positive to our hormones so that we're just opening up this area and adding in a little bit of resistance to our waist so that when we take a deep inhale, there's a little bit of resistance and as a way of challenging our diaphragm to work just a little bit harder, right? As a way of strengthening it. And then exhale, let this hand sink in. And then on the inhale, imagine you're trying to push your hands away from one another. And then exhale, sink in. So we're using this exercise to power up the breath, power up the diaphragm. And then let the arms come down. All right. So for people that came on after I made this the intro, I'm in Plymouth, Massachusetts, which is my hometown, at my best friend from when I was 5 years old at her dad's house for the night. And you can't see, but the ocean's right behind me. And but I'm channeling that through me to all of you. So let's start by knocking on the door of life. So we just so happen to be knocking across the same belt channel that we were just working on with cinching the waist. So most of the meridians, or all of the meridians, except for one, run vertically through the body. And there's one channel, the DAI, DAI, that's translated as the belt channel that runs horizontally, right? It helps to harmonize the energy that's going on the above the waist and then the lower half of the body. So sort of opening up this gate that allows really good circulation to our extremities. And then come up below the collarbone. All the way to the top of the shoulders. Coming back down below the collarbone. And coming back down to the waist. And let's go right into water waves, clearing the space. And this little circles orbit around you. Just letting go, cleansing and clearing, discharging. And soothing the nervous system. Think like you have almost like aloe, right? We're just allowing this softness to occur in the space that you are inhabiting. And then let's come to stillness. And let's open up the spine more by inhaling and looking up. And then exhaling, curling forward, tucking the tailbone down. So spinal cord breathing, literally inhaling through the front of the spine and then exhaling the back of the spine. This is also really good. Just think about opening up the space in front of the shoulders, at the pectoral area. We're probably a little bit shortened here, so unwinding some of the postural habituation that's occurring in the muscles when we sit for long periods of time. Ensuring that flexibility of the spine. And one more inhale. And then let's exhale the arms down. So I think what I'd like to do is, I like doing chi massage, but this is the chi massage that we maintain connection with our hands through the body. So it's a way of activating, but it's a soothing activation. So this is where we inhale the arms above the head, bringing the palms together. You can see me. And then bring your palms to the back of the head. And then you're just going to, brush your fingers from the back of your neck to the front of your throat. The back of the hands come together right at the top of the sternum. And we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale. And then like you're soothing and you're brushing the back of your neck towards the front of your neck, the sternum, and then down. So we're drawing energy from the top down. Think about releasing that muscle layer, opening up the throat. And then this time, let's inhale. We're going to bring the hands further down. So we'll start the back of the head, coming to the front of the neck. And then let's travel down the center of the body to the solar plexus area. And then again. back of the head, towards the front of the throat, down midline of the body. And then again, inhale. Now let's pause here for a moment. Take your the index finger and middle finger in each hand, place them just below the collarbone, about an inch laterally, and start making gentle circles. So this is an area that we use acupressure and acupuncture wise, also to help literally open the throat. Our voice, we feel either that we literally have laryngitis and we can't speak, or it's more metaphysical. We're feeling stifled in our voice, to help activate and clear sort of that congestion that can happen. And then work your way down, just lateral to the midline. This is the kidney meridian. Some of these points, they reside in the space between the ribs. So if you feel like a little bump, a bony bump, then you go underneath that. That's where the intercostal muscle is. It's a little bit of the spongy part. That's where the points are, and they can be a little bit tender. But it's really good to release emotional energy throughout all of these points. And come all the way down. And now come to the midline, and then just between where the base of the sternum ends and where your belly button is, halfway in between there, we're going to press in right at the center. This is a point on the Ren channel. This also might be a little bit tender. It's really good for digestion. And assimilation. It's also the solar plexus area where we take our thoughts and our plans and move into the action mode. Let's take another inhale. Again, back of the head and coming to the front of the neck. Now let's come all the way down the central line of the body. Bring your hands to the lower back, and let's rub the kidney area. And then again, inhale. And then exhaling, just washing away any of the tension, tightness, giving the adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys a gentle massage. And then one more time, we'll go all the way down this time. So inhale, come to the back of the head, to the throat, down the center line, coming to the low back. And then from the low back, we maintain that connection, and you're just gonna run your hands down the back of the legs all the way to the feet, and then coming up the inside. Now, bring your hands into fists and come to the balls of your feet. Take a nice inhale, and with a quick exhale, yes, everything is just released. Let's do that one more time, the whole thing. So inhale. And then the back of the head towards the throat, down the center line, nourishing those kidneys, drawing energy down the back of the legs, all the way down. And then coming up, bring your hands into fists again, coming to the balls of your feet. Take a nice inhale and okay. A little bit of cleansing and clearing. Let's dovetail that. Let's come to the standing position and clearing, where we drop the arms and turn. So this is the inhales at the center, and then we exhale and drop and turn to one side, and then inhale back to the center, and then exhale and drop to the opposite side. So it's a inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Think about letting go of the space between the shoulder blades, freeing up some of the tension throughout the shoulders, even freeing up the breath. So really allow, if you'd like to, allow that the sound of the heart, the ha on the exhale. Ha, 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 ha. Or you can make it a little more internal and silent. And let's start to slow down. Coming to center. Just pause here for a moment. Let our heart rate come back down. Okay, let's keep my eye on the clock here. Let's come to a wider stance now. And then bring the hands to the top of the thighs. And let's start with a little twisting. So we're going to turn and drop the right shoulder down, looking over the left. And let's just stay here for a few breaths. Just feeling a little bit of elongation on the inhale. And then exhaling, maybe twisting a little bit deeper if that feels good, looking over that shoulder. And then slowly inhale to the center. And then exhale, dropping the left shoulder down, looking over the right. And now inhale to the center. Let's just move a little bit on the breath. So inhaling to the center and then exhaling, letting the right shoulder drop, and then inhaling to the center, letting the left shoulder drop. So on your own, at your own pace, nice and slowly moving on the breath, helping to wring out the spine. Nice, really good stretch for the back. And then on the next inhale, come to the center. And then let's just fold forward for a moment. Just letting the head relax down to the earth. Opening the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the calf. And then let's slowly roll up. Grab one wrist with the opposite hand. Let's stretch way up. And then exhale the arms out to the sides. And let's just move, since I'm right behind or in front of this big body of water that's not a river, it's a big fat ocean, but we're going to go into moving the body like a river. So shifting the weight from foot to foot, moving the bottom half first. So you're letting the upper body just wave over, the head arrives last. Think about making the spine nice and fluid. Moving like a wave. So we wave over, it crests, right? Moves, crests, and then retracts. Go as slowly as you like or as quickly as you like, but maintaining that element of fluidity and relaxation. If you want to make it a little more challenging, this is not a requirement. You can have the palms facing out, and as you move across, move the arms across. It might feel a little bit more challenging on the abdominals, but also is very enlivening, invigorating. So I invite you to try this. Moving like this wave moving through water. And then come to the center, hands back on your thighs for a moment. Let's do one more fold forward. And then slowly roll all the way up one more time. Nice stretch. And then release the arms down to the sides. And let's bring our feet back into, I'm sliding all over the place here. Let's bring the feet back to outer hip distance apart. And before we go into our flows, let's just do a little stretch for the head and neck. So let's bring the hands together behind your back, facing down. Let's do some neck rolls, letting the head tilt over to the left. Just very slowly let it come, roll forward, over to the opposite shoulder, and then up and back over to the left. Nice and slowly. This one, I think the slower the better. We really want to feel the little tiny muscles get a nice stretch, unwinding all that tension. Using the breath as a way of facilitating that release. And then let's pause and go in the opposite direction. And let's pick our heads up, let the arms drop down. Okay, should feel a little bit more loose. Let's shake everything out now. Whatever's been going on that's kind of sticky to your body, just take this opportunity and using the breath, intention, and movement to help to exhale, release, discharge, whatever word works for you. And then start to slow down. Okay. So the first flow that I wanted to do with you today is we're going back to the basics. but we're going to add on. So open the flow. We're going to stand, let the arms drop down. It's really focus since it is back to the basics. It's a really good time and opportunity to remind ourselves of the things that sometimes we lose when we do more intricate movements because we're trying to pay attention and hear cues. This one, we get to kind of release all of that because it's so simple and we can really focus on that mind body connection, where our mind is, where our breath is, and where our bodies are. So we're going to let the arms drop down. And then on the inhale, the arms float up to about shoulder height, nice, relaxed wrists. And then as we start the exhale, the elbows drop. And then the exhale as we bring the arms all the way back down. So just inhale and float the arms up. And then exhale, the arms float back down. Really focusing now, right, on releasing any resistance, feeling light. Just like a little air balloon that fills up and then releases back down. Right. Feeling sensations, noticing what it feels like when the arms and hands float up. What happens? What is the sensation in the palms and fingertips as we exhale down? And almost like our arms are connected to our lungs. Just imagine as our lungs are filling up, the lobes are filling up, right? The arms are floating up as if they're sitting on top of the lungs and they're just rising up as the air moves in. And then as the lungs deflate back down, the arms just float back down naturally. And there's a little bit of a rising and sinking back down. So on the inhale, right? There's maybe you actually get that sense the whole body is sort of lifting up. And on the exhale, there's this sinking back down towards the earth. And we're going to continue this flow with a little extra guided meditation called ice to water and water to flow. As we inhale and exhale, let's imagine the area, especially around the heart, around the neck, the shoulder blades, as sort of a tense block of ice. And as we breathe, as we inhale, we're inhaling this warm glow. And that ice with each breath starts to melt. With each breath, right, that block of ice starts to liquefy. Right? What is solid and unyielding starts to soften, become pliable. And as that ice starts to melt to water, that energy starts to flow and circulate all throughout our meridians. Ice to water, ice melting to water, and water into flow. And that gentle ease that starts to percolate up. And that flow starts to soften the whole body, softening the areas wherever you hold tension. Ice to water, water to flow. So inhale. Let's exhale the hands into our chi ball for a moment. Really paying attention, keeping your eyes closed if that feels okay. The space between the palms. And then from here, we're just going to turn the chi ball so that our hands are now above and below one another rather than side by side. The same thing, just sort of spiral the hands. So you'll probably notice they're going in opposite directions, the hands from one another, spiraling that energy. So that we're in sync and my cues make sense, let's make sure that your right hand is below and your left hand is above. And then condense that just a little bit. So moving the palms towards one another just a little bit, maybe feeling almost that magnetic resistance or push and pull is getting a little bit stronger. Like you're condensing a ball of dough and then spiral. And then from here, that bottom hand is going to reach forward like we're separating. So that bottom hand reaches forward, so the palm is facing up in front. And then your opposite hand is facing down. So we're facing the universe above and the earth below. And now take your left hand. We're going to turn towards the right. That left arm's going to come across and we'll go into a twist. And then as we start to unwind, take your right arm now comes across and becomes the top hand. And we're going to condense that energy again, spiral. So this is called parting the horse's mane. So think about condensing this chi ball. And now your bottom hand should be your left. And now we're going to separate the two. So that bottom hand comes out in front and that top hand reaches back slightly. But see if you can maintain this energetic connection between the two hands, even though we're separating them, like you're pulling apart taffy. And then we're going to rotate now over to the left. And as we do, that right arm comes across and we go into a twist. And then unwind and bring that left arm across to the front and on top now. And then condense. And then pull apart. Oops. Sorry. The front arm is the palm facing up. And then rotate now over to the right. And then inhale. Now your right hand comes on top and condense. So the strong connection between the hands as we separate them, feel that like almost like a little elastic band. As we separate them, there's still a connection that's maintained. And then rotate now over to the left. And then unwind. Left hand on top. And then separate. Twisting over to the right. Unwind. That back arm comes up and is on top. And part. And then twist now over to the left. And then unwind. This will be the last time. So the left hand comes on top now. And then part. And then twisting over to the right. And then come back to the center. And then let's bring our hands into our chi ball, now side by side. Just reconnecting. And I think for the last flow, we'll go into eating the moon cream. So we're actually going to go back to our chi ball so that our left hand is on top, right hand is on the bottom. And then just play with that chi ball like we're separating taffy again. We're stretching and then condensing back in. Now eating the moon cream, right? We start with condensing and now we're going to pull that top arm all the way up. And then you're going to bring both arms to shoulder height. And now your right hand and arm come up. And then drop that right arm and hand all the way back down and condense. And then let's spiral for a moment and play with that chi ball. Now inhale that top arm all the way up. So basically windmilling your arms. And then now the left is on top. And then we're going to exhale the left arm all the way down. And then almost like you're putting together or condensing a spring, right? It becomes spongy and springy, and you condense it so much that it releases and then it comes back down. So we're windmilling, right? We're gathering, think about gathering energy. It's like a windmill. We're harnessing chi and energy, pulling it down into our chi ball so that we can absorb it, pulling energy from our surroundings, adding, right, nourishing. And then inhale, separate, windmill. So we're just going back and forth, condensing down for a breath or two. Feel that springiness and then inhale, windmill, and then exhale that top arm down. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Gathering, consolidating. But consolidation can get to a certain point that it turns into this potential of energy that wants to spring forth. And last time, condense. Inhale the top arm up. Windmill. And then let's come into our chi ball. One last time, side by side. Let the arms drop down. And then let's inhale the arms down, around, and up. And then exhale, the hands float back down. And then inhale. And exhale. And one last time, it's inhale. And then exhale, let's bring our hands together, one on top of the other. And let's pause. Feeling our strength, but feeling equal parts strength, flexibility, lightness, groundedness. Growing down, anchoring down, but also growing up and out. Feeling relaxed but resilient. And then when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. I'll give you one little, there's the ocean. I'll bring you out with me. I might lose you, but very nice being here. I'm very grateful for this little time I'm here. So have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Okay, take care.